How does that vampire thing go? I don't think that's it. And I don't got nothing in black, so this is not what you would see a vampire cover themselves with. Like Dracula, you know how Dracula is, they cover himself, like you don't see him wearing gray. I just don't got nothing black, so. Alright everybody, welcome back to another real review. Today, we're going to be talking about NOSFERATU, released December 25th, 2024, directed by Robert Eggers. Robert Eggers has some bangers under his belt, boy. Let me tell you. Robert Eggers, let me tell you about Robert Eggers. Oh my word, we saw his work in The Witch back in 2015. In The Lighthouse back in 2019. We saw his work in The Northman back in 2022. You know what I'm talking about? He knows what he's doing. I'm not gonna lie. I was excited about this when I found it. It was just him, and then they threw that cast on top of this movie. When they threw that cast on top of this movie,
Damn!
my ass was already in that seat. Very decent movie. I did see it when it came out, Christmas Day. So I'm gonna apologize ahead of time that I'm not getting this out in a more timely manner. Try to work on that for 2025. There you go. It's a quick resolution for y'all fuck niggas. My fault. I ain't with before I say anything else about this movie, I'm gonna throw a huge spoiler warning. I'm gonna talk about this movie a little bit. Not a lot, but enough to where if you haven't seen this movie in its entirety, I am going to spoil it for you. So I suggest you go watch that movie. If you don't care, you don't care. We'll welcome you anyway. Starting out, before I get into this intro, which I think is very decent, I'm gonna give a strong point for the intro because it's a very, very good intro that we get into here. I want to point out, because Count Orlok, not Count Olaf, we don't really see him yet until like I'd say maybe an hour into this movie, but, and this actually does speak into the intro here, we do see him in like a vision, dreamscape, whatever you call it, from our main character Ellen's point of view. She was praying out to someone in the universe or whatever to give her attention or something, some dumb shit. I can't remember what exactly it was. Someone did answer her prayer and it was not my Lord and Savior, I'll tell you that. We don't exactly see Count Orlok, but the black figure that we are looking at, it's quite obvious who it is. The first thing we hear him say is like something along the lines of like, you are not for humankind. He's basically laying a claim to Ellen. We actually do get a decent jump scare off the rip.
Come to me.
That was crazy. Like 2 minutes into the movie, you get a jump scare. I was like, whoa. Oh, also, oh my word, Ellen's forehead. Damn! When I tell you that bitch took up, not like, when I say that bitch, I'm not talking about Ellen. I'm not talking about Lily Rose Depp's character. Oh my word, that sounds bad. I'm talking about her forehead. Her forehead took up about 40% of the goddamn screen though. Let me tell you, that's nothing from a big foreheaded person such as myself. Like, look at that.
Oh my goodness!
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm insecure, so I'm gonna pull that back down, and I don't have a haircut, so this ain't no free show, you know what I'm saying? Cut into the freaking title card, Nosferatu, and then we get another one saying Germany or Germania. I think it's Germany, 1838. It's an old ass movie. It's set in a long time ago. This does feel very authentic though. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple strong points for you right now. How authentic this movie does truly feel. Like it feels like we're back in time. The lighting is all natural. Shout out Robert Eggers. He knows what he does with that type of stuff. He's done great with lighting before, like The Witch, for example, in The Lighthouse, where we truly only see lighting from like torches or the few light bulbs we see in the movie, or the moonlight, which is a lot of this movie as well. Kudos for that, man, using authenticity right there to his advantage. Also, to speak to the authenticity of this film, we do get a lot of the sound design, or we get to hear a lot of the great use of sound design in this movie. We hear everything that you would hear if you were out in the busy streets of early 1800 Germany. You hear the horse clickety clackety clacky, you know what I'm saying? You're hearing all the people selling stuff on the streets and whatnot. You hear all the busy streets and all that, because you know everyone's walking. Not saying like that's a problem or anything, but I'd be pretty damn mad if I gotta go through a street full of people every day on my way to work. And here we're actually introduced into Thomas Hutter. Tom is on his way to his new job at a real estate agency. He's actually late. He's not very punctual, so you know, hey, I guess because he's just married, like he's got a wife now, he wants to start a family, he's hoping to get a house for him and Ellen, so he's kind of looking to prove himself, I guess. Now his boss, I don't remember what his boss's name is. I think it's Mr. Knock, we're gonna call him, as I think that's how you say it. His boss does give him his like first real assignment. I know you want to move up, you know what I'm saying? You got a wife now you gotta take care of, so here, we're gonna give you something. Now, his assignment is that this Count Orlok is actually trying to move out there to Germany, and he is planning to buy some land. Now, instead of Count Orlok coming to visit the property, what he wants is for an agent to bring the deed and all the paperwork to him, which I don't know if that's how that works, but hey, problem is, it's 6 weeks worth of travel. You gotta go for him just being married. I guess that doesn't, that's not the best case scenario. That's not something you definitely want to tell your new wife. Appreciate you, tying the knot with me, but I got business to attend to. I'll see you in 2 months. I doubt anyone would want to hear that in their life. Not even, I wouldn't want to hear that, I'll be honest. Now, we do get a lot of good camera work as well. Shout out the camera work in this movie. The camera work was very good. I liked it a lot. While he's talking to his boss, we get more of that like conversation, like package where we'll have one character speak, the camera's on them, then it flips over. It's weird because you can't see everything at once. I don't know what to tell you. Like the way they frame it, it looks so weird. It's like they're not next to each other, but they're next to each other talking. I like it though. I don't know why. It keeps me intrigued. Ellen, again, not happy with this whole ordeal. She is showing some of her acting here. Let me tell you, she started off strong. She's starting off strong right here. Even with all that forehead. She does not want this man to leave. I get it. And I think her vision started again. I could be wrong. I don't think so. Not yet, at least. But granted that Thomas didn't just want to leave his wife alone for 2 months. He actually mentioned that, hey, you're going to be staying with my friend Friedrich, who is played by Aaron Taylor Johnson. Boy, do I love that man. Pause. Aaron Taylor Johnson, I think, is a fantastic actor. I love that he's been getting more work. We're not gonna talk about Kraven the Hunter though. We're not gonna talk about that because we're just gonna forget about it like Sony is, and we're gonna leave it alone. Also, the dialogue I think is very clear. The fact that it being back in the 1800s, it's very clear, the dialogue. I know he's done, like Robert Eggers, I'm speaking, like I know he's done some movies like The Lighthouse, for example, and The Witch, where the dialogue was a bit more on the confusing side. You didn't really know what the hell people were talking about.
If I had a steak, I would fuck it.
What the fuck?
Not the case for this movie. If I'm gonna be honest, I like the dialogue. I can understand what's going on. I can follow the conversation. So good job for him. Also, the color grading looks great. I love how this looks. Again, it's that gothic sense we're getting here. It's supposed to be a horror movie, but it looks like it's its own genre. Now, real quick, because we get our first WTF movement of the movie. So after Ellen and Tom are they go visit Friedrich. I think him and his wife, Anna. We go to see their house. These two are rich as hell, by the way, my word. It cuts to Thomas's boss now, sitting on a pentagram, butt naked. I wish I was lying about that. That's the next scene. I'm like, bro, what? I truly went, what the, in the theater, like, because I was so confused. But he's talking to someone. He's talking about this contract. It's safe to assume that he's setting Thomas up. Unfortunately, Thomas has no idea about it, so we can only just pray and hope that it turns out all right for him. This movie is foreign as hell though, let me tell you that. Oh my word, you can truly tell that you're not watching a domestic film. Like, this don't feel American. For my Americans out there, of course. I don't know if Germans are gonna feel like they're at home watching this movie, but I'm just saying I was out of place in this. Thomas is ready to dip out. He's on his way to the estate, or to visit Count Orlok, which I believe is in Transylvania. We get a lot of good stuff here on behalf of the cinematography and the directing. The score sounds great, you know what I'm saying? I love the score, especially when we get up to Count Orlok's mansion or manor. We get some beautiful shots as Thomas is traveling across the country. Thankfully, they don't show us the entire the entire journey for Thomas. I think a day before he gets to the manor, he does ask this camp/inn to stay one night. There are a bunch of gypsies here or whatever. Now, we get a bit of an Eggers touch here. And what I mean by that is basically where, like, we're just as confused as the character that we're watching on screen. The gypsies, I'm calling them gypsies because someone else called them that. I'm not using that as a derogatory word, okay? The gypsies are, like, I don't want to say harassing Thomas, but they're harassing him. A bunch of people start dancing around me and shit, playing unknown instruments. I'm gonna be thinking I'm getting harassed. So, like, I don't know what's going on, but it's like, it makes sense because we're not supposed, he's never been here before, so maybe this is just how they get down. He doesn't know, therefore we don't know. That's what I mean by Eggers touch. Did that with the Lighthouse, which, you know what I'm saying, he just has a unique way of spinning confusion onto us as the viewers, so I like that. Oh, actually, Count Orlok, just speaking on, these people seem to be like, they know who he is. They try to warn Thomas about him. He's like, Count Orlok is quite like infamous around these parts. They're telling him like, bro, do not go up to that manor. You got no business up there. Does he listen? Hell nah. He just goes straight up. Now, actually, the next day, funny enough, He wakes up, all these people are gone, and they took his horse. So they left him with generally just his like satchel, and he has to walk all the rest of the way to the manor. Now, as he's walking, it actually does take him a little bit. Like, I think it's nighttime by the time we get to the manor. Before he gets to the manor, actually, we get some cool, decent, I mean, amazing visuals. He's walking along the road. It's now nighttime. It's dark as hell. Again, we only have the moonlight here to work with, but we see this chariot coming down. He can't really tell, but he knows something's coming towards him, I guess. We can see it, but I guess he can't really see it too well. Now, as it gets closer and closer to him, you're thinking he's about to get hit, but we just see the chariot. I think that's what it's called. The coach, the stagecoach. We see the stagecoach there, and it's now pulled off, but it's like almost beckoning him to get in the carriage. And it is, look, again, the camera work looks so nice, bro. Oh my word. This actually brings him to Count Orlok's castle. Shame on him for actually just getting into that stagecoach with no questions asked, because that really could have taken him anywhere, and anything could have happened to that man. You don't know what could happen on these type of situations, so that's kind of crazy. Shame on you, Thomas. You're a grown man. Orlok's like castle, man, or whatever you want to call it, looks so fire. Like, it looks so dope. It doesn't look very lived in, but it looks so dope. You know what I'm saying? Great set pieces we see here, and across the movie in general, I think is fired. Oh, I like this movie so much. I'm thinking about it. I was walking out that movie like, man, that movie was okay. Now I'm thinking about it, this movie was great. Now we are actually introduced into Count Orlok pretty early here. He actually is the one that opens the door for Thomas. He's quite mad, I guess, because Thomas is kind of late. But again, he did get robbed though, so I get it. But Count Orlok ain't trying to hear none of that. He's like, bro, you came when all my servants left. You got me walking around this place, opening doors like I'm a peon. I ain't want to do that. He's also like telling him, he's like, bro, sit down so we can handle this business and we can be done with it. And Thomas is like, bro, can we do this in the morning? Hell nah, sit your ass down. Word for word. He didn't say that exactly. I'm paraphrasing. Bill Skarsgård, of course, is playing Count Orlok. He's completely unrecognizable in this role. Like, I generally didn't know it was him. Even though it's Bill Skarsgård. He has such a unique face that you can tell regardless of who he's playing, right? Not really. It's like you could only see Bill Skarsgård in the eyes. They like damn near disguise that man. Let me say this about Count Orlok. He's a huge question mark. By that, I mean, in this part of the movie, he truly is just complete mystery. We don't really know much about him. Of course, if you know the other stories about NOSFERATU, you know Count Orlok, but if you just walking into this movie, not ever seeing anything about NOSFERATU before in your life, you're just not gonna know what the hell's going on with this guy. And honestly, I'm fine with it. I was cool. I think Count Orlok is a pretty cool dude. Not cool as in, like, you know, Count Orlok is ready to get this paperwork done so he can then move to whatever town they're from or whatever. Now, he does hand Thomas the paperwork for him to sign, given that he's like the observer or orator or whatever you want to call it. There's not a word of English on this contract. I'm not gonna lie. If that's me, I'm not signing that, because I don't know what that says. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can't understand a single word on that, like, I don't know what I'm signing for. And of course, this dummy does it. I guess he's more like paranoid or nervous than anything. I would be too. Nah, I can't blame him. I would do the same thing. We do get some great acting though from Nicholas Hoult here. He's terrified. Dude, he waking up with like bite marks on him and shit. Spoiler alert, Count Orlok's been sucking on that boy. Pause. He is draining him of his blood. I do love the suspense they give us though. A lot of it is like, it doesn't end up with us being jump scared, but you're always thinking about, is it gonna happen? A little bit farther into the movie here, we're back with Ellen, Friedrich, and Anna. Ellen is not doing well. The reason she believes she's gotten so much better though since she started having those visions is because she met Thomas. So now Thomas is away, she's more susceptible to that shit, I guess, so she started having visions again. Dog, she's tweaking, by the way. She gets the season and shit. They gotta tie her to the bed, so she's going through it low-key. But she's getting visions again. She sees Count Orlok once more. He tells her, your husband is lost to you, dream of me. So yeah, Count Orlok kind of got a thing for Ellen. That if it wasn't apparent before, it definitely is now. It's funny because, so Ellen, before Thomas left, gave him like a locket with a lock of her hair in it, and Count Orlok noticed it in the castle, and he asked Thomas, he's like, can I see that? Of course, this dumbass dude hands it to him, and he never sees it again. Count Orlok just takes it. He smells the hair, and he kind of like pockets it without saying nothing. That was kind of funny. Granted that Ellen's been having these visions. Friedrich, being of course concerned about her condition, he calls one of his friends, who is Dr. Sievers here. Dr. Sievers, let me point this out, played by Ralph Ineson. My word, do I like this man. He has got some decent acting under his belt before. He was in Game of Thrones couple episodes. I know he's the dad from The Witch. I believe he was in the first Omen that just came out. Also in the new Fantastic Four movie coming out next year. I just can't remember who he's playing. Don't sleep on that boy. Let me tell you that. Oh my word, do not sleep on that boy. Also, Ralph Ineson had a lot of fun with this movie, it seemed. A I love hearing that. Even I think in general, him, Nicholas Hoult, who played Thomas, and Aaron Taylor Johnson, they had some fun on this movie. I'll throw up a picture, but there's a funny picture of them like in costume. So yeah, I just want to point that out. But yeah, Dr. Seaver's thinking that she's just seizing up because she has so much blood in her body, but it doesn't seem to work. He also is the, like, I guess you could say, psychiatrist for their local penitentiary, not penitentiary, insane asylum. So he has some patients down there as well. We actually do meet one of his new patients. This person was brought in under the assumption that he is quite mentally ill. Not even assumption. This man was eating raw lambs, apparently. Like, he was killing lambs with his bare teeth and eating them in the town square. So they brought him in and they had him under arrest. We don't see that, unfortunately, but we do see that it is actually Thomas's boss who has gone stir crazy in his cell. I don't know if he did this with his boo-boo, but he's painted all over the walls and whatnot. Again, I really hope that's not boo-boo, but like, actually, given that how crazy he's gone, he gave us the first of a couple decent monologues in this movie where he's just talking crazy about my master's coming or something like that. At this point, you can tell he's talking about Count Orlok. That's not a surprise to anyone. Cut back to Ellen. She's still not doing well. Dr. Seavers doesn't really know what else to do at this point because he's tried giving her drugs. He's tried bleeding her to get the blood out of her body. That's not working. She's still tweaking out and stuff. They even have to tie her to the bed. He suggests that we call up one of his old teachers back when he was learning in school. Enter Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe playing Professor Von Franz. My God, he killed it in this role. My word, my word, my word, my word. Again, we're not going to talk about this movie too much because I just don't want to edit all this out. Now, it is Professor Von Franz's professional opinion that Ellen has been cursed, beckoned by some unworldly creature, and he doesn't know what he is exactly. Of course, Friedrich's not too happy about that, him being a complete skeptic. Sievers is like, that can't be it either, but he trusts Von Franz, even though Von Franz at this point, apparently he's been not exposed, but he's been considered a quack, so he's not too credible in this movie. But it's Willem Dafoe, so whatever he says, I'm gonna believe, let me tell you. But we actually find out that Count Orlok, of course being Count Orlok, you already know this, but if you don't know this, Count Orlok actually is a vampire. Thomas, while he's still around the castle, because Count Orlok's not been letting him leave, he finds his coffin and he doesn't know what it is exactly. So he opens the coffin and he sees a dead body there and he's like, what is this? But he's also at this point very suspect of Count Orlok. He thinks that he's the one that's been biting him in his sleep, which he has been. He's right in that part. Now, back when he was with the gypsies or whatever, when he stayed in that one town before coming, they did show him that they have a way of purging vampires where they'll go find the body and they will spear it with a metal rod, so therefore the body dies and it doesn't come back to life. He tries doing that with Count Orlok's body now. And when I tell you at the last second, because Count Orlok cannot move during the day, the last second of sunlight, and I mean we were watching it drain in the background. Ooh, I love the cinematography in this movie. You're watching the sunset, but not through the sunset, if that makes sense. You're not watching the sunset, you're watching the light on the wall dim as it turns into night. At the last second, he's about to come down and stab Orlok's body. The last second, the sun sets, Count Orlok wakes up. And this is where we get our full picture of what Count Orlok's supposed to look like. Yuck City. Oh my word, he's nasty looking, but I love it. You cannot tell me Bill Skarsgård was noticeable in that suit. Whatever he had going on, you cannot tell me. You even saw his wee-wee. That was kind of crazy. That, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to speak on that too much, but you do see his wee-wee. Thomas, of course, being scared out of his wits end, he is trying to flee this monstrous situation. In doing so, he's not too successful with that. He ends up falling off the castle wall into the ocean, supposedly dead. Now, Orlok does ship himself to their city, puts himself in a box because he can't be out during the day, of course. He is so, let me tell you about Count Orlok. He's so evil. He's infecting the ship, like the crew on this ship. He's killing them one by one and he hasn't left the box. Like they're dying of like the plague almost. Like they even call it a plague. So that just speaks to how evil he is. Like it's infectious, dog. We get some more decent shots though. We get a lot of good cinematography. I think the set pieces are just working so phenomenal. Even whatever is CG looks so in place, you can't really notice it. A lot more suspense here. We get a good scene where on the ship it's nighttime. The crew is sick of this box because they think that's where the sickness is coming from, so they open it up. He's not in there. Lo and behold, he's actually broken out of the box and he starts killing the entire crew. On this crew, there's so many rats, by the way. Like, there's so many rats. It's so nasty. We don't get too much gore, which is good, I guess. And, you know, we don't want to see too much, but it's a horror movie at the end of the day. Also, though, it's very dark. so it's not easy to see all the gore that they do have as well. I think it's a good amount that they give us. So now I'm not gonna talk too much more about the movie. I'm just gonna talk about the ending now. Before I get to the ending, actually, let me just point this out here because we get a couple more good scenes. Dude, Lily Rose Depp and Willem Dafoe, my gosh, these two characters like are making this movie. Lily Rose's acting alone was so phenomenal. She blew my expectations out the water. I had no idea I was so unfamiliar with her game. Oh my word. Like, she's going crazy now. She full blown is like either possessed or not. I don't know, but she's killing it in this role. She just wants her husband back. She's in despair almost. She's in agony, whatever you want to call it. She just portrayed it so well. Willem Dafoe is Willem Dafoe. Of course he was going to deliver. I'm not surprised by that at all. Orlok does make it to the city, whatever it's called. I don't remember. He visits Ellen one more time. He tells her, hey, I want you. Your husband can't do anything about that. He can't protect you, so I'm gonna come for you, so you might as well just accept. Basically, that's the gist of what he tells her, and she says no, because that's crazy. And he says, well, okay, you're gonna refuse my offer now, but I will give you 3 days to reconsider, and I will come back each day, and you're gonna lose something. Basically, that's what again, I'm paraphrasing. On the first night, he doesn't visit, but I guess no, he does visit. Let me talk. Oh my god, let me talk about this. Friedrich and Anna has 2 kids, right? They have 2 young girls. I couldn't be damned to know their names. They are these 2 little girls are some assholes. I'm sorry to say that about 2 children, but when he visits her again, it's a vision. Like, she's not actually seeing him. So when she does wake up, it's still the middle of the night, but she notices that the whole place is covered in rats, and even her friend Anna is covered in rats. We see Anna is on the floor getting bit up by these things, and now she's actually tweaking out and she's seizing up like how Ellen was. Orlok says that's night 1. That's night 1. Night 2 comes. I could be getting this wrong, but when he does visit, he doesn't visit Ellen. He visits Anna. Like, she seems to be fine again. That night, Orlok visits Anna. He doesn't go straight through the front door. He makes a little bit of a U-turn or a detour. When I tell you that we hear some screams coming from the children's room, oh my word, Anna hears them too. Now, we don't see Friedrich in this scene. The reason why, when Count Orlok came, they allude to it a little bit earlier, but he's got some powers to him. He's got a little bit of magic in them hands. No homo. He just tells Friedrich to stay asleep, and that boy does not wake up, even with the screaming going on in the house. Now, cut to where Anna comes into the kids' room because she hears them screaming. This dude, Orlok, is in the kids' room holding them by their necks, and he kills both of them right in front of their mother. My word. That's our second WTF moment of the movie right there. Not really. That's like our second or third or fourth. There's a lot, but that's the one that made me go, holy hell. God damn. God damn. So the next scene, we're actually at the funeral for all 3. He kills Anna too. He killed Anna, he killed his 2 kids. He's besides himself. Thomas is back. Thomas somehow did manage to survive up until this point. He's being taken care of at like some church or something by some nuns. So when he does get back, he tries to warn Ellen, you know, Count Orlok's looking for you. And of course, Ellen knows already. Friedrich's not happy again. He wants all of them gone. He doesn't want anything to do with these people. But here comes Von Franz. Shout out Willem Dafoe. He does come to their aid and says, I'm gonna be honest with you, this is because of the attachment she has. Von Franz basically tells Friedrich that it's not her fault. He then is speaking with Ellen. They're both in agreement here that for them to stop what's going on. Oh, let me speak. Actually, before I say anything else, the whole town is dealing with this plague that was on the ship with Count Orlok because of all them damn rats. So there's people dying by the handful on them streets. Willem's character, Von Franz, and Ellen both agree that this is because of Count Orlok. So we got to figure out a way to stop him. Now, Willem, he knows that Ellen's going to have to die, I guess, right? Ellen's willing to sacrifice herself to stop this mess, but she knows her husband's not going to want that because come on, why would anyone? Willem decides to lead Dr. Sievers and Thomas on a wild goose chase. Oh my gosh, it was actually supposed to be them and Friedrich as well, but Friedrich on his grief, oh my word, this is another WTF moment of the movie. Friedrich is tweaking out. He actually visits the family graves again, his daughters and his wife, of course. He opens his wife's casket. He starts making out with the body. When Thomas and Von Franz find them, I swear, I don't know if this is how they want us to like think, but the way they shot this and framed this, it had to be what's going on. I swear he's on like a couch inside the crypt on top of his wife with his pants down. But again, his wife's dead, so like there's a corpse he's humping. Oh my word. Ugh. And apparently Friedrich's been suffering from that plague the whole time too. He actually died there on top of his dead wife. I don't even want to talk about that no more. That was kind of good. Let's just move on. They burned the bodies though. They did burn the bodies. Willem does tell everyone that we need to destroy the coffin. because that's the only way to kill Nosferatu or vampire. If they don't go back to their original coffins or wherever they did die, I guess, whatever, they become no more. So Willem says, hey, we gotta go find this coffin. I don't know how they found it, actually. I can't remember, but they did originally find the coffin, and they decide to go destroy it. But Willem does tell them, while we destroy it, we're actually gonna kill Count Orlok as well. Willem is fibbing here. He knows Count Orlok is gonna come for Ellen, but he needs these people out the way for this to actually end. They open it up. It's not Count Orlok. It's Thomas's boss again. He's still going crazy. And without even thinking, they just speared the guy because they didn't even notice it wasn't Count Orlok. Okay, y'all just killed a man. It's cool, I guess. And then they burn the coffin and the building gets into the ground, of course. Thomas then figures out that Willem's character is distracting him. So he realizes that Count Orlok is with his wife. So he tries to hurry and get back home. Willem gives us another monologue here. Let me just throw up another strong point for Willem Dafoe's character. My gosh, bro, he was acting his ass off in this movie. My word. Now we are actually at the end of the film here. Ellen now finally agreed to Orlok's terms. She welcomes him with open arms, and he does arrive at her house. And I don't even know if this was a sex scene or not, but they're kissing, and it's like that's a walking corpse. They bring it to the bed. Oh, she gets naked. He gets naked. Oh, he's so he's decaying. Like it's disgusting watching this scene. If it was just two people, I wouldn't care. They look like two humans. And he's not just kissing her. He's draining her blood. And by doing that, he has to he bites on the chest. Like he bites right on the heart. But it's just the noises are so gross, bro. Like I can't. Ugh. Ellen actually is, in her own way, sacrificing herself to again end this plague that has been brought on by Count Orlok. We actually see that it's becoming morning. It's turning into morning. The sun's rising and all that. Count Orlok realizes that he needs to leave, but Ellen tells him, no, I want you to stay here. Oh my gosh, he actually says, quote unquote, more, and he goes back to sucking on her titty, but not in an enjoyable way, mind you. That's like, he's plunging his fangs into her chest. Hook, line, and sinker. He falls for it. He stays there and continues sucking. But then it's too late at that point. He has not made it back to his coffin in time, and he therefore perishes. Unfortunately, Ellen does die as well. Again, she was getting the blood drained out of her body directly from her heart. So yeah, I'm sure that wouldn't be good for much people. Thomas, unfortunately, he gets there at the last possible moment, and Ellen's already gone. I honestly just felt so bad for his character. The shit he went through that entire movie, and then just losing his wife. And he's like, again, he's been married at this point, I'd say a couple months. I couldn't wish that on nobody. But that is where the movie ends. Such a bittersweet ending. But again, it's such an enjoyable movie though. You know what I'm saying? Again, the acting, the cinematography, the camera work we get here, we get a lot more authenticity out of this film. Robert Eggers is so good. He's so good at keeping the movie authentic. Well, quick before I end this video off, of course, I'm gonna give my general ratings. Now, starting off with the writing and story, I'm gonna give this movie a 7 out of 10. Again, it's a remake, so there's only so much you can do with the story there without drawing away from the source material, but I think he does a good job. If anything, I'm giving him more points for how well he does with the original story in mind here. Now, for the sound design and the score in this film, I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10 because I love the sound design. I think it draws you into the movie, as gross as it can be sometimes. Like, again, you're hearing people getting the blood drained out of them. Not fun sounding at all. It's quite disturbing, actually. But the score is also very good. I love the score. Next, for the acting, and I'm gonna give it the acting and the casting. Wow, this movie had done so well with the casting in this film, and then the acting was just great. I'm gonna give this an 8.5 out of 10. Oh, you know what? No, because now that I think about it, I'm gonna drop that down to an 8. I'm gonna drop that down to an 8. Just given that Count Orlok being such a huge or a big character as he should have been in this movie, we just don't see that much out of him, really. I want just a little bit more out of Count Orlok. That would have given even a 9, but yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. But then we have the cinematography, the camera work. I'm gonna give this an 8.5 out of 10. No, I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm gonna give it a 9. I think the visuals are so huge. I think the visuals work so well. I think the camera work was very good. I love the shots we get in this movie. I love the setting. Again, the lighting was very accurate to that time and stuff, but it still works, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't distract you with how dark it is. Overall, I'm gonna give this movie a Nosferatu. I'm gonna give you an 8.5 out of 10. 8.5, you know, again, very, very solid movie. I like it a lot. But yeah, that was Nosferatu. The next, damn, I don't even know what the next real review is gonna even be. I'm debating if I want to do Wolfman or Flight Risk. we'll work back to that, because I know there's some movies I'm definitely going to do a review on. That's going to be it for me from here. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you did enjoy the video, you can toss me one of them likes. I truly do appreciate them. They don't go without notice. Again, I'm going to catch y'all in the next video, but without further ado, I'm going to bid y'all good night, a better morning, all that ish, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. I'm out.